Hey folks, I'm Mysterious:JG and welcome back to Let's Play Secret of Evermore. I gotta be careful with just going off onto tangents and asides in these videos. I was talking in a prior video about how, global warming is a really bad name for climate change because people who don't want to hear about it will just say dumb shit like, think I mentioned a Mallard Fillmore cartoon of all things, where it's like, it sure is cold this winter, we could use the hot air from those global warming morons. You know, whatever. Maybe you believe in climate change, maybe you don't. But I shouldn't go off on these because now I've had somebody, and they were not rude or nasty about it, but they briefly went into why they think global warming is fake in the comments. So, not the intended effect. I don't know what the intended effect of. It was just an aside. I've responded to them in the comments, and I hope I was respectful. Although I did use an analogy which could be considered bringing the level of decorum and discussion down. They were talking about how the climate's been moving in cycles for billions of years. It's insanity to think that we're affecting it. And I responded by saying something like, well, we've been doing the fossil fuel thing for like 1,000 years, which is 0.0001% of the time that the Earth has been around, or whatever. So I'm just gonna throw it out there, and then I'm gonna shut the fuck up about climate change, hopefully for the rest of the LP, because I have my opinion and you have yours. But my whole thought process was, well, if you think this doesn't prove that climate change is real, but it proves that that's a spurious argument. The fact that the Earth's been around for billions of years, and scientists think something we've been doing for millennia is having an impact, throwing that out as being ridiculous is like saying, my pool has been urine-free for a week. The fact that I just urinated into it 30 seconds ago can't possibly mean it has urine in it. It's kind of the same logic. If 99.9% of the lifespan of my pool has not had urine, I can urinate in it freely, and it can't possibly have urine in it because it's been without urine for so long. That's kind of the logic behind saying, how could fossil fuels be having an impact on the climate? For billions of years, when there were no fossil fuels weren't having an impact on the climate. There you go. So my opinion on the matter is out there. Your mileage may vary, but it's supposed to be an LP about an SNES game. Shouldn't have to agree on climate change to continue. So, let's move on to discussing abortion and capital punishment. What are you... No, I'm joking. We are going to move on with the LP. Now, I have loaded my last save state of off-screen adventuring. Although there is a formula coming up, which we'll be getting in the next big chunk of game, where I might do some off-screen grinding to get it up to snuff. Otherwise, from a glance over the FAQ, I think the main formulas that I wanted to make sure we had at level 99, which would primarily be the healing one and the defend, like the ones that we'll be using all the way through the end of the game, pretty much got maxed out now. Except for there's one more attack spell, which is useful for a big chunk of game. So I'm not saying that I will never again off-screen for this game, but I am saying that as far as the massive amounts of off-screening I did, and by massive I mean a couple of hours here and there in hour-long increments while sitting around over the Thanksgiving break, that's all done, and we're now caught up with where we're supposed to be. So we're also, I think, at a slightly higher level. But let's continue with our exploration of the volcano. We have our little alchemist friend here. We also have a viper that's waiting for me to whiff my attack. I feel like never have I played a game where I felt like you had so little control over whether or not your attacks actually connect. Well, Tina Medea just reached level 22, so good for him. I think the game told us. The game has made it clear that whatever your preference, the dog is male. Now in this game I've already cleared these screens, but the enemies respawn. So we will be going ahead just far enough to reach a It's not a boss fight per se, but there's an encounter coming up where you can keep fighting the same enemy over and over for infinite mud peppers, which is what eventually stopped me. As in my off-screening, I did a very silly thing. Let's see, this might be a pedal. We could use a pedal for Ray Chesney. Yeah, my hunch was right. Well, I was trying to pick up loot, but I wasn't finding anything. No, what was I getting at? Jeez. Yeah, in my off-screening of this, I kept going back to that one alchemist that I gave a Hulk Hogan voice to and getting more mud peppers over and over from him. But in fact, on screen, I was a bit smarter about it. Well, we're coming up on... Oh, here's like the entrance screen for this whole place, where there were enemies above you that you couldn't get to. So Tina Medea connected with an attack, just didn't do any freaking damage. There you go. You deserve that, buddy. Frickin' Vipers trying to cool down the volcano to kill the world. I haven't really got a good idea of why they want to do that, what's in it for them. But they must have their reasons. Every man has his raison. So here we are. We've got another exciting... I've got a full charge, but it doesn't look like I'm ready to strike at all. And I missed. Here's a fun fact. You can, using this one, you can attack enemies that are below you. Which means basically risk-free kills. Or you can just throw a spear and miss. At least there, with the spear, one thing I can say is that when I'm using these ranged attacks, if I just miss, I can look at it and say, okay, I missed. That was on me. All these other weapons, you charge up a big attack and then you go after the enemy and whatever. So that guy gives you a mud pepper every time you defeat him. And basically it means once you get to here... Hold on, let's check something out. So that's a Viper. There was like a... I want to see what the gray ones are called. This is one of those games, like Secret of Mana, where the only way to find out what the names of your enemies are is to target them with magic. Because otherwise you can go through level after level, killing all the enemies with your melee weapons and never find out what their actual in-game official names are. They do each have one. So that guy is the Viper Commander. He's like Cobra Commander, but a Viper. Destro! Why do I sound so much like Starscream? Sorry. Muddy Mud Pepper. Or that's Muddy Mud Skipper, never mind. So now we've got 15 charges of Levitate. Oh wow, I wonder, in my off-screening, how many freaking mud peppers did I save up? 15 mud peppers. Well, there's no point whatsoever in leveling up the Levitate spell, but we may need it again later in the story. It is very much a story kind of spell. Let's get out of here, Scooby. There's really no point in fighting any of these guys. Other than trying to level up. I don't know how close I am to leveling up, actually. If our hero is really close to leveling up, which I don't think he is. 3,000 plus experience points needed. He's closer than the dog is now, but... Leveling up now would purely be in order to get our hit points back before fighting the boss of this area, who will be coming up fairly soon. So you basically fight your way to here. That gets you to an enemy who drops lots of mud peppers, so you can do all the levitate spells you need. Okay, now I'm curious. We were at 30-something. We're still at 30-something. We basically we're leveled up. We're over-leveled for this point in the game, although that doesn't help you as much as having really powered up magic will against the boss. Damn. Pretty sure these enemies can't, well, this one can't get to us if he really tried. Oh no, he can't. He's up on a whole different ledge. Wow, our dog managed to get him. So no point in fighting these guys, so what do? I fight them. Come on, that should have hit him. Of course, if I do hit any of these guys, and they drop loot, so I won't be able to get it. Yep. I called it. I suppose it's possible it'll still be there when I find my way around over, but... yeah, it is. And there's a pedal, and I should have thought to use a pedal. See? Like, direct hit with a spear does nothing for some reason. Now, because this is a different save slot, I may have been slightly different results of my wandering around trying to get loots. Oh wow, I wiped one of them out over there. So there may be loots that we've picked up here that we didn't pick up off on the previous on-screen playthrough. God damn it. There we go. Did a pretty thorough exploration of this place, but dang, the dog is doing a lot more damage than I am. Even when he doesn't seem to be charging up. So you can come over here, and you'll find that it's clay. Yeah, so I mean, again, any of these treasure chests that I haven't collected are probably just because they've got ingredients in them that we don't care about. But essentially, once we've got all of the mud peppers and we can get all of the rocks moved, which I may have already moved a rock here that I hadn't moved on screen, possibly this one, we eventually can make our way. Yeah, so that rock there we could have moved with the levitate spell once we had defeated the Viper commander who dropped the last mud pepper we needed to clear out this area. And that brings us here where we can find some wax. And a bunch of mosquitoes. Okay, that took more doing than it should have. But this gets us to our last chunk of this level, where even though it's a volcano, for some reason it has a sewage system. Sometimes you need to run against the flow. But as you'll see, there are various little drop-off points. Can't carry any more clay. So eventually, we'll visit all these freaking rooms because we keep getting deposited back outside. So what if we were to go up instead of right? We would land here. There's a door. Oh shit. I'm sorry guys. There is shit. Okay. We have already done something here that I didn't do on screen. I didn't realize we'd already done this. So let's actually jump back to a prior save. We will not have our fully leveled up spell, but that's okay, because what we're going to do instead is I'm going to solve the puzzle, because basically that door that we just went through should have been locked, and we should have had to solve a maze puzzle to unlock it. And I didn't realize that in that save slot where I had leveled up my spell, I had already finished that puzzle. Oops. Not a big deal. We're just going to quick defeat this guy for another mud pepper, and then we will get there, and we won't have the speed spell leveled up, but that's quite alright. It's not essential to have the speed spell to do what we're about to do. Matter of fact, you don't really need to use the speed spell at all, ever in the game. So that guy survived a hit of even my charged up attack. And then he managed to make me die. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, because we're not using this anyway, we can be just as wasteful as we want to be with magic. Did I? Oh, I meant to do heal. I got the two of them confused. So the green one gives you hit points, the blue one removes status ailments. Got it. Anyway, we already have a nice save spot where we know exactly how to proceed. Once we finish the sewer pipe maze, we've got loots in a room that I didn't bother to show off before because it's just alchemy ingredients we don't care about. We're going to run past the Vipers. I guess even though they're not particularly decorated, and the Vipers apparently have some intelligence because they're capable of speech, we can assume that these rooms are like the living quarters of the Vipers. Still don't quite know what the Vipers get out of cooling off the volcano, since they seem to be creatures that you'd think would love flame. Anyway, again, as you can see, this is the rock that we hadn't levitated yet. So once we levitate it, we get to this zone. Let's pick a whole different slot to save at. Oh, hey. So he runs off over here as though to show us the way to go. And I guess that's something that we wouldn't have seen if I hadn't come back. And they show us, hey, there's a little slot over there. I think there's a switch in the next room. If we can get to that room and hit the switch, we could probably open the door. Thanks. Thanks, buddy. So this is our hero explaining to us what to do. In fact, we have to look for the correct path. Is it this room? It is not. This room just has some wax. Well, what if we go that same way we went before, but then cut up here, and then over here, and then down here, and then over here, and then up here? I think that might have taken us to the exact same place. No, it didn't. This room is different. It doesn't have a treasure chest at all. But it is also not the right room. And so you see how this is going to work. We're just going to keep trying different rooms until we find one that takes us to the right place. And even though you might be thinking, hey, search little side of each room, the right room will look like an empty room, but at first, but if you press into a wall, there'll be a secret passage. There's nothing like that. We just have to find the actual correct, ooh. Guys are getting nasty. Mosquito, raptor, let's do multiple. So we got jumped. So this room is extra dangerous, but it didn't really give us anything worthwhile. So we'll just keep going. Generally, it seems like the ones that you have to work to get to are going to be more likely to have a cool reward. But perhaps not. So, struggling to get to this top pipe didn't really help us. Is this one that we can get to from another side? I think I shouldn't have come here. Yeah, we can already get to this various other directions. But it's basically process of elimination. You try to keep your eyes peeled for paths you have not already taken. Like, I don't think we ever went down here. But if this just takes us to one that we can get to from other directions, which we can, then it's probably not the right path. Yeah, I believe we've already been in this room. So we go down this time. Nope, down cuts off. There's not a whole lot of choices to go here. More wax, same one. And that'll probably be what takes us through the rest of this video, folks, is just trying to find the right sewage pipe. And they're not necessarily sewage pipes, they're water pipes, but if this one has different branching paths, I think I went down there before. This is starting to look promising. Yeah, this is it. So we've opened the door. That took less time than I thought, so in fact, we might want to just finish this thing up. Oh, Jay, watch it. I'm not going to hurt you. Not all vipers are savage, you know. We were all once peaceful, but the desire for power was too strong. Now there's someone leading the vipers and the raptors in order to take over. If you fight this force, we may be peaceful again. Would you like for me to record your progress? Nah, see you later. So I don't know what that little symbol is that looks like some kind of goofy chibi monster. But I do know that we've now found the correct way to open that door, which means we can go back to the save I made earlier. Just making sure this is the right one. We've got our fully leveled up speed. We should be ready. Pass through this door. And now we will actually, I was thinking this would be the beginning of the next video, but in fact, let's proceed forward and see what's going on. Hey! Hello, kiddo! It's Fire Eyes without glasses, and angry looking. Fire Eyes? You know, I totally didn't get that whole literary reference with making the glasses, making fire with glass. I never actually read Lord of the Flies. I'm not as cultured as I try to pretend I am. You called? Hey, sis. Hot enough for you? Who are you? I guess she's evil. Who do you think? I'm your evil twin, and I'm here to take over. As hot as it may be inside the volcano, the temperature is dropping outside. No, stop. You're going to trick me into talking about climate change. Because I'm cutting it off at the source, and I'm passing the savings on to you.
If the world freezes, my village will die out.
That's the idea. Then my Vipers and I can take control over your world.
But the Vipers will die too.
As much as I'd like to chat, sister, I've got work to do. So if you'll forgive me, I'm gonna make you go away now. Whoa. Say hello to my pet rock.
Say hello to my little friend.
Whoa. Okay. So we have an enemy here called Magmar. Well, let's start with Defend. And then let's cast Speed. Then let's get ready to fight this bastard. My dog is not attacking him at all. Oh, he gets health back from landing in the lava. Okay, he finally attacked him there. It's a big old blast. Let's hit him with Acid Rain. Because we've been leveling up these spells for a reason. How much did that hurt him? I didn't really get to see. Well, we still got our buffs applied anyway. Well, speed is worn off. Well, it seems like it did enough damage because I think we just won. Oh, I guess not. I guess I should be hammering him more with spells, although Acid Rain, I don't know what happened there. It seemed like it didn't have the intended effect. 300 is a decent damage. Alright, let's heal up. Did the dog just finish it? Every so often the dog hits it and it just flips out for a second. I think I'm going to be better off using... Oh, look at all the hit... I get like 3 times my max hit points back. That's the power of leveling that spell up beyond what it needed to be. You know, what it reasonably needs to be at this point in the game. So that did less damage than a fully powered up weapon attack, but it takes a lot less time to set up. Oh, got a bit more health back that time. Maybe it gets a percentage. There you go, 900 talons. Big old spear in the base. Sounds like an adult movie. You think you detected some wax over here, boy? Yeah, detected wax.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Okay, you've won the battle, Ray Chesney, but not the war. You want heat? I'll give you heat. Ooh, I'm not sure I like the sound of that, folks. I guess we'll try to find out exactly what the evil version of Fire Eyes... What's the evil opposite of Fire Eyes? Like, water, back of the head? I don't know. We'll find out what water back of the head is thinking, or nostrils. What's the opposite of eyes? I don't know anything about the world of eyes. That was for Bobo only. And possibly 1 or 2 people from a website I used to write for a long time ago that have no reason to believe watch my channel. But anyway, folks, we'll find out what the evil water back of the head, where your eyes would be if you had eyes in the back of your head, is up to next time. I'm the MysteriousJG. I want to thank you guys very much for watching and hope you'll join me next time for more of Secret of Evermore.